Hello, friends, and welcome to the first installment of just a fun summer series that we're going to do. We've started this in our weekly small groups, and then we'll do a little bit here online as well, of looking at where we can find the good news of Jesus in children's storybooks. We find God and the good news and God's grace in all sorts of places, in all sorts of literature, and often we read children's books and we are taken aback by the wisdom that has been condensed into a few words and a few images in a powerful and meaningful way. So this week, to get us started, I'm going to start with one of my new favorites. It's called Strictly No Elephants. It's written by Lisa Mantchev and illustrated by Taeeun Yoo. So let's hear this story, and as we've done in our small groups this week, as you listen to this story, just listen for where it is that you connect with these words and images, where you feel God tugging on your heart. The trouble with having a tiny elephant for a pet is that you never quite fit in. No one else has an elephant. Every day I take my elephant for a walk. His is a very thoughtful sort of walk. He doesn't like the cracks in the sidewalk much. I always go back and help him over. That's what friends do, lift each other over the cracks. Today, I'm walking my tiny elephant to number 17. It's Pet Club Day and everyone will be there. Come along, there's a good boy. I coax him the last few feet. It'll be fine. When I look up, there's a sign on the door. Strictly no elephants. My tiny elephant leads me back to the sidewalk, never minding the cracks. That's what friends do. Brave the scary things for you. Did you try to go to the pet club meeting too? The girl asks. Yes, I say, but they don't allow elephants. The sign didn't mention skunks, the girl says. But they don't want us to play with them either. They don't know any better, I tell her. He doesn't stink, the girl adds. No, he doesn't, I agree. What if we start our own club? Come along, I say, making certain that my tiny elephant follows me, because that's what friends do. Never leave anyone behind. We can play here, one of our new friends says. All of us. So we paint our own sign. Strictly no strangers, no spoil sports. All are welcome. My tiny elephant will give you directions if you need them. Because that's what friends do. I love this story, and in its profound and even sometimes goofy way of just illustrating the importance of welcoming all of God's children, all people. As we read this in the group and we noticed where we were feeling and what we were feeling as we heard, some of us felt that pain that I'm sure the elephant and his owner felt as they read that sign, strictly no elephants, when their excitement of going to a party and sharing some fun time with all of the animals and all of the pets turned to disappointment, recognizing that they were no longer welcome. One of the other things we noticed in this story is that the sign said strictly no elephants. But it wasn't just elephants that found themselves excluded from the party. There's a wise statement from the girl with the skunk that said the sign didn't mention skunks, but they don't want us to play with them either. You know, I come at this from a leader in the church, and so I have to think about what happens in the church and the role that we have of welcoming people or not. And sometimes, whether they're explicit signs or not, we put up things that exclude people from the full life of the church. And we do this in all the types of communities that we're involved in. We draw lines, boundary lines of who's in and who's out. But if we're not careful, those lines that we draw get thicker and thicker and thicker as others see them and find themselves not included. Just look at the beautiful diversity that was being missed at the pet club party just because elephants were excluded. Look at who's coming to this party. There's a giraffe, a bat on a leash. My favorite is the narwhal and the fishbowl being pulled in a little red wagon. All of these friends were being welcomed at this new party because the sign said no elephants were welcome at the party, and so they wondered, am I welcome here? And they didn't want to take the risk. As I read this story, it makes me think of a scripture passage from the book of Revelation, and we hear a part of God's vision for the fullness of creation, and this is from Revelation 7. After this I looked, and there was a great crowd that no one could number. They were from every nation, tribe, people, and language. They were standing before the throne and before the Lamb. They wore white robes and held palm branches in their hands. They cried out with a loud voice, "Victory belongs to our God who sits on the throne and to the Lamb." God's vision for the beauty and the fullness of creation is not something that includes some people. It is something that includes the diversity of all people. Every person, me and you and every single person that you meet, is someone who is created and loved and celebrated by God. That includes me and that includes you. You will never look into the eyes of someone who is not loved and cherished by God. And so my prayer is that as we live our lives in the church, in community groups that we're in our families, in our neighborhoods, wherever we go, we may break down the walls that divide us and find ourselves coming together, moving together towards the grace and love of God that just knows no limits and embraces each and every person. All of that from a children's book. And that's just scratching the surface. The more time we spend with any of these stories, we can find God's love. Because the deeper we dive into anything, we find God and God's love for us. If you want to join this conversation in person, there is a seat for you at our small groups. We meet each week on Mondays at 1 and on Wednesdays at 9. You can find the information about those at southeastguilfordumc.org/grow. And we have a place for you. So we'll be back next week, and we'll look into another children's book and see what truths and what wisdom we can discern from there. But just in case you haven't heard it yet today, know this, that God loves you. God celebrates you. You matter to God and to us. So take care, my friends. Go in peace.